guys, welcome back to the channel. So today is Wednesday, December 23rd, 2020, and this is the Flight Sim News. We're just a couple days away from Christmas, and there's more sales to be had, of course. The guys at 1C Game Studios are having their annual winter sale that started yesterday, December 22nd at 10 a.m. and it's going to run until January 5th in the IL2 official web store and on Steam both. What's really cool is they have them both going, so if you have it on Steam you can get it there. If you have it on the official web store you can get it there. 85% off the Battle of Stalingrad, super cheap, highly recommended. Battle of Moscow is 75% off. Battle of Kuban is 75% off. But the Battle of Bodenplatte, which personally I think is the best one that they've put out so far, is 66% off. And Flying Circus Volume 1 is 66% off. Tank Crew is only $10 off, which is odd. You can get the Hurricane Mark II for 25% off on the web store. And then, as you can see, a lot of the various collector's planes are 85% off to 75% off, down to 66% off. So you can buy some of the best planes from the premium versions of the other products if you happen to have Battle of Stalingrad and you want to have the Spitfire, or if you want to have the P-38J, you could actually fly that in that other product. I would highly recommend just getting the premium versions of any of these products because at 66%, 75%, and 85% off, they are so cheap. Desert Wings to Brook is 35% off, and Cliffs of Dover Blitz is 75% off. Like I said, the sale is running until the 5th of January, and I'll definitely throw a link in the video description here so you can check it out for yourself. Now, this was a bit of news a few days ago that I happened to have missed, but nonetheless, very important announcement. So, Flying Circus Volume 2 is going to happen. And they're taking pre-orders for it right now, and it's $60 or $59.99 if you get in on the pre-order. And it looks like some of the cool points is going to be they're going to have a large Western Front map with cities, towns, airfields, factories, bridges, farms, and the treacherous no man's land. I think one of the complaints about the Flying Circus Volume 1 was just that the map was kind of small. This is going to be much larger. It's going to include 10 aircraft. So it's going to be the SPAD 7C1, the Airco DH4, Sopwith triplane, Newport 28C1. There's one to pronounce. Breguet, Breguet, Breguet 14, B2. Handley Page 0-400, a DFW CV, a Fokker D, what the hell is that, 5, 6, 7, 8? Gotha GV, and then the Falls DXII, is that 12? I'm not really up on my Roman numerals, but 10 planes. Aircraft models include field and weapon modifications from the era, numerous types of buildings, hangars, ground vehicles, and scenery objects to enhance the mission environment, detailed and precise exterior models of aircraft with 4K skins, full-scale 3D interior of each aircraft that looks amazing in VR, and so on and so forth. There's a bunch of other things listed here, but again, I love Flying Circus Volume 1, and right now at 66% off, I believe, at $27.19. That is the cheapest it has ever been. Highly recommend to get in on that while you can. In VR, it really is one of the best experiences in a flight sim anywhere right now. However, that goes for anything that 1C Game Studios has done, because the Great Battles series, fantastic, and Flying Circus even more so, because in those open cockpits it's really impressive and it's very, very cool stuff. So I'll throw a link to this in the video description as usual, and you can check it out for yourself. One thing that I missed last week, and I couldn't believe I did, was the update 4.504 for the Great Battles series. They go on to say, new player controllable aircraft or vehicles aren't ready yet, but we have decided to release the update 4.504 that improves many aspects of the sim. The main feature of this update is the increased visual detail of the landscape at close distances, which is a graphics option. It makes terrain bumps and unevenness that were previously only calculated in physics to be visible. Overall, this improvement makes vehicle and aircraft movement on the ground look much better and natural. The second main feature is a nearly complete overhaul of the sound volume balance in the aircraft cockpits, which was done with the help of pilots that have experience flying similar aircraft, resulting in a much more realistic sound environment in the cockpit. They go on to say there are many more important changes as well. For instance, many graphical effects were improved, like large structural fires in cities and more detailed tank cannon effects. Even the grass now bends when you fire the tank main gun, and the full change list is below. Overall, it looks like there are 63 fixes, improvements, additions, etc. It's a rather lengthy list, and again, it is just an impressive update. Like every update these guys put out, they really, really pump in the features and improvements every time. Gotta love what these guys are doing. Very, very cool stuff. I'll throw a link to this in the video description as usual, and you can check it out for yourself. In Falcon news, and this isn't something I talk about very often, I'm not a fan of BMS. I'm not going to sit here and bash it either. I just, personally, to me, it still looks like Falcon 4.0 with just minor visual improvements. However, in the background, there's a ton of stuff that these guys have done. So again, I'm not going to take away anything from these guys' work because it is a labor of love. And it really is a very comprehensive F-16 Falcon sim, and they've really turned Falcon 4.0 into something to be proud of. There is a new version. It is 4.35, and they go on to say 4.35 is not an update to the former 4.34, but a new independent base installation. It says 4.35 can coexist with 4.34 on the same machine. The build number string in the Falcon UI will read 4.350 build 22548 for the new base installation. The feature that I think that really I thought was most impressive is that they've upgraded and now it utilizes DirectX 11. Now I know we're on 12 plus or whatever the new 12 is. There's some kind of version of 12 that's one step above 12 even, I believe. But they finally brought it up to at least this century, right? Other than that, there's a ton of other things. I'm not going to sit here and read the list, but the DirectX 11 upgrade was the one that really stuck out in my mind, so I might actually download this and give it a shot and see what it looks like, because I really wasn't impressed with the last few versions back when I had taken a look at BMS about a year ago. Because again, it just still looks like Falcon 4.0 to me. It's not entirely a bad thing, but I've seen DCS. You know what I mean? I play IL-2. I've seen Microsoft Flight Simulator. While everything in the background is fantastic and amazing, and it has stuff in here that DCS doesn't even have, I just have a hard time with it visually. But others may enjoy this. And again, you can get Falcon 4.0 Allied, whatever the hell it was called, on Good Old Games or something for $5 or $6 when it's on sale, on Steam for a couple bucks, and then download this for free and have a pretty kick-ass F-16 sim that actually works rather well. And a lot of people love it and enjoy it to this day. So again, I'm not knocking it. Just visually speaking, it's not my thing. But I will throw a link to this in the video description so you can download it and check it out for yourself. And there is a ton of visual improvements in addition to fixes and other improvements and additions to the BMS code in general. It's a rather big update. All right, the guys at Virpil, just busted out some news. So it's kind of cool that, like, with the talk about DCS and an Apache, and then the Mi-24 being in the works, and then the Kiowa Warrior being around the corner, it just makes sense to have some cool, realistic helicopter controls. And the guys at Virpil have been showing off their VPC Rotor TCS and Rotor TCS Plus base, and then the VPC Shark 50 or Shark KA50 grip and Hawk 60 grip, which is pretty cool stuff. Very impressive helicopter collective grips. Yeah, those are pretty sick looking, I gotta admit. That is really impressive. I think the only thing I might have a hard time with is like utilizing, an existing stick for my cyclic, and then having all these features over here on a collective that I'm pushing up and down instead of moving forward and back on an arc like a throttle. Although this is the more realistic experience, very, very cool stuff. And it's nice to see that before long people are going to be able to jump in and have a really realistic, high quality virtual cockpit experience for military helicopters. I will throw a link to this in the video description as usual, and you can check it out for yourself. Okay, today's big update is that Microsoft Flight Simulator update is available for virtual reality today. It looks like it works with all, from what I understand, VR headsets. So you can download the update now, and it should work rather well. However, there has been a variety of people on various online forums talking about some of the known issues and whatnot, so I have a link to this page. And this page it's from the official FlightSimulator.com forums, so it goes into detail to tell you about some of the possible known issues and workarounds in VR, which I think would be very helpful for many people. So I'll throw a link to this in the video description as usual, and you can check it out for yourself. I think I'm going to have to jump in and get the Game Pass again and check out Flight Simulator. I really never got around to actually buying it because I really just wasn't that impressed with it in many ways. I just didn't think, to me, it was worth a $60 investment. However, I will give the Game Pass a whirl again, and I'll get in there with my Rift S headset and take a look at it. And I've seen some people saying some really positive stuff about it in VR, and that actually it performed rather well. So I'm going to have to take a look at that, because when people talk about performance, that is a very subjective thing. Some people are literally happy with 30 frames per second and turning the sliders down to having crappy visual detail because of the depth perception. Personally, I'm more of a track IR guy, and I have a super ultra wide monitor, and I really like the performance and the level of detail and the crisp detailed graphics versus, the muddiness that you get in VR usually. And again, I know the G2 supposedly have 4K per eye, and the Rift S is nowhere near that. So yeah, maybe I could use a headset upgrade, but I also keep track of things online. And, I do see a lot of people going, oh my God, the G2 is the best thing since white bread. But at the same time, there's a lot of people with systems more powerful than mine that have a hard time running the G2 and getting great performance in various flight sims. So I think for me, I'm going to wait and see what happens before I jump on the G2 bandwagon. And I'm kind of happy with what I have at the moment until something better really happens. Because there's people I've seen with 3090s and the new, 11th, is it the 11th gen? The step above my i9, whatever the hell that is, the new i9 and a 3090 and like 64 gigabytes of memory that are running stuff like a G2 and DCS and still are not achieving more than 40 frames per second and getting stutters. So I'm just going to wait before I go dumping $2,000 on something I don't have to. But as usual, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Feel free to hit that like button. And if I don't talk to you guys before then, Merry Christmas, man. I hope everybody gets all the stuff they want in their stocking. And until next time, guys.